This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, it's all change. One of Dunedin's longest running businesses as the keys to a lemonade factory are handed over. Supergrands Dunedin opened its doors this morning for an all-ages event focused on reading with youngsters. And Central Otago's Young Viticulturist of the Year has been crowned following a series of recent events. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Daryl Baser. One of Dunedin's oldest existing businesses is changing ownership, with the current proprietors keen to see the business remain viable well into the future. West's in South Dunedin has been making cordials and soft drinks since 1876, but the factory is a modern setup and contains a state-of-the-art plastic moulding machine.
Alf Lauriton and his wife Kay have sold their West's cordial and soft drink factory and shop after nearly 15 years of making fizzy drink in South Dunedin. During their ownership, they had to deal with the challenge of being told to stop selling alcohol from the premises.
There's been some ups and downs, as in any business, some challenges which come along, some curveballs coming your way unexpectedly. But by and large, it's been really good.
Another challenge was when their supplier of plastic bottles closed down and they had to install their own blow moulding machine. It's this machine that first attracted new owners Angela and Craig McFarlane.
My husband, being a plastics engineer, pretty much fell in love with the blow moulding machine. And he, because that's kind of where his area lies, with it, and then the manufacturing side of things as well.
Lauriton says he's proud of having kept the 145-year-old business in good financial shape. With just 2 weeks until the handover to the new owners, he's keen to make sure it's a smooth transition and that the factory stays viable.
After that will be another 2 weeks to ensure the handover gets done properly. And after that, I've already verbally acknowledged to Angela that I'll be available for any subsequent questions she might have or what. So yeah.
The change of ownership is driven largely by the need to put family first. Lauriton and his wife are looking forward to enjoying their retirement, seeing more of their grandchildren. And the McFarlanes say they only came back to the country after 8 years in Asia so their children can grow up in New Zealand culture.
We're very dedicated Kiwis, me and my husband. We want the kids to have that as well. And if we stayed in Asia longer, I don't think they would have that sense of belonging, and that was quite important to us. So that's why we decided to come home, so they knew where they belonged, like New Zealand was their home.
The West's cordial factory is expanding and has just started exporting to overseas. In Dunedin, The South Today.
And in breaking news, a bomb disposal unit has been called to a Dunedin museum after the discovery of explosive acid this afternoon. Police say emergency services were called to Toitu Otago Settlers Museum in Queen's Gardens just after 3 p.m. Members of the New Zealand Defence Force's Explosive Ordnance Disposal Squad are removing picric acid from the museum. Police worked to keep the public away from the area. Picric acid is used in the production of explosives, matches and electric batteries. The acid is unstable, flammable and highly combustible. Generations came together in South Dunedin when Supergrands opened its doors to some much younger guests. The event was run with Read, Share, Grow, with stories being shared between young and old as part of a holiday event. A room full of kids, books and balloons at an event to support caregivers to be the best they can as they engage with tamariki.
We've been having our school holiday event, Kōrero with the kids, and we run it in association with Read, Share, Grow, and it's just an event to get parents along with their kids in the school holidays. We have some activities.
Supergrand's Dunedin manager Sandy Mackay says they offer support for parents and caregivers from their centre in the South City Mall, and says they seem to be busier these days.
There seems to be almost a bit of a disconnect in the past generation or two, where there are a lot of people who, for one reason or another, haven't got those skills.
Captivated children listened to tales and books from the Read, Share, Grow Literacy Encouragement Scheme this morning. Read, Share, Grow facilitator Bridget Shawman says they've given away many books at today's event.
Oh, this is wonderful. We can connect with local families, we can encourage them to take the books, we can talk to them about what it means to read and share books with their children and the importance of doing that and how it has great outcomes for later life. But also it's just lovely to share really nice books with really nice kids.
Seeing the delight on children's faces, Shawman says the books will all be going to good homes.
I came with boxes of books and I'm going to leave with a tiny bag, but actually I'll leave it here in case people want to call in and collect more books.
Dunedin's Supergrands Charitable Trust hosts events like this one day during each school holidays. And Sandy Mackay says this one has been a great success. In Dunedin, the South Today. 3 people have been taken to hospital after a 2-car crash in Invercargill. St John says 3 patients were taken to Southland Hospital, 2 with critical injuries and 1 in a moderate condition. Police say the road was blocked with road control placed on Curran and Duns Road near Invercargill. Fire and Emergency New Zealand says 2 vehicles crashed in Curran about 8:30 this morning. FENZ says extraction equipment was used to rescue the patients from their vehicles. A Central Otago vineyard manager has been named the region's Young Viticulturalist of the Year. The 28-year-old Chard Farm employee was judged best amongst her peers in a host of skills needed to be a cut above the others in the wine industry. Tooling up for the regional finals of the Young Viticulturalist of the Year for 2021. National event organiser Nikki Grandgeorge says there's one aspect of the competition which has changed dramatically in the 16 years it's been running.
It's the first time we've ever had 7 out of 8 who are women, but generally this year we've seen more women step up into the competition, and I think it really just highlights that it is an exciting career for men and women.
Contestants from across the region converged on Central Otago to take part in the competition, which finds the best of the best. And this year it was taken out by local woman Katrina Jackson. Regional organiser and last year's winner Nick Paulin says Jackson's win shows how the industry is changing, especially in smaller wine growing regions.
You work for a smaller company and you get to do everything, so I think that is an attraction to a lot of people, and yeah, it's a pretty interesting representation that we've got 7 out of the 8 are females, so yeah.
Paulin says contestants took part in theory and practical skills-based challenges, including pruning, trellising, wine knowledge and machinery knowledge. There was also a Horti Sports section where contestants tackle a series of tasks while racing through the vines. But he says competing isn't the only reason the event attracts so many entrants.
It's a really good way to, I think for a number of reasons, to meet people within the industry your own age, especially once you get to the national final, meeting people from outside the region. And locally competing, I think it puts you out of your comfort zone and you get to try things that you don't necessarily see day to day.
The Young Viticulturalist of the Year competition is in its 16th year, and Nikki Grandgeorge says the event is more than just the competition at the end.
It's really a program because we start with education days which run throughout March to help prepare the contestants for the day, start stretching them then.
Having been crowned Central Otago's Young Viticulturalist of the Year, Katrina Jackson is set to represent the region at the national competitions due to be held in Blenheim next month. In Central Otago, the South Today. And still to come on the South Today, a company has been fined after rubble was dumped in a southern river. And we have a curly tale about an abandoned pig in Christchurch, which has a very happy ending. See you after the break.
episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. We have a massive manufacturer's clearance plus. This liquidated stock from our suppliers. For example, we have cotton casual trousers from 1990, dress trousers from 1990, merino zip pullovers, fashion shirts, warm winter shirts, jackets. There's a great deal on overcoats, blazers and suits. Come and check out our jeans. We're known for our jean selection.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Come in and see the massive manufacturer's clearance at Alex Campbell Menswear.
Be sure to tune in to Football Chat every week where we chat about local football fixtures, results and everything else that's happening in the local game.
TV, our favourite babysitter, but it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
No mai no. Welcome back. Hundreds of people remain in temporary shelter as the Westport community rallies in the wake of the biggest flood since 1926. More than 2,000 people were evacuated on Friday and Saturday, but the floodwater is now receding. However, after 3 nights in welfare centres, not everyone has made it home. The community has rallied together, with cafes feeding rescuers and people gathering donations, while others are helping to move stranded vehicles. The company responsible for dumping construction material into the Clutha River near Balclutha has been fined. An investigation began after a Balclutha resident saw a truck dumping building rubble down a riverbank in March. The truck was branded as belonging to Andrew Haulage. Following an investigation by the Environmental Protection Authority, the council has issued 2 infringement notices and a formal warning over the dumping. Andrew Haulage says it did not wish to comment. A small wild piglet found abandoned near Cheviot has grown up into a mammoth 250-kilo champion Cooker pig. But the pig, named George, is proving well behaved and good company for the Christchurch man Mike Maxwell, who describes the huge porker as a bit of a saviour.
Well, he's just a family member. He's just like a son, really. Yeah. I mean, look at that handsome face. When he was little, he was quite sneaky, and he used to be a bit like a dog in some respects. He would sort of take things and hide them. And I was constantly looking for things, not like shoes and that sort of stuff, just things, remotes and stuff. I had the pleasure of explaining to my accounts lady at work one day the reason I bought a new iPhone, and that was because George ate my iPhone 6 at the time, which was $1,000 down the drain, so that was a bit embarrassing. So I thought I'd snuck that one under the radar at work, but no, I hadn't. So he'll get up probably sort of mid-morning-ish, maybe grab a quick snack, shoot down the back, go to the toilet, come back inside, go back to bed. Look, after that, it's sort of anyone's guess. He can probably do 3 or 4 hours sleep after that, and then just muck around the backyard. And then after that, Dad's home, so it's dinner time, which usually takes about 45 minutes. Then a bit of playing around the backyard, and then off to bed again. So yeah, it's pretty stock standard. Yeah. We're coming back from up north from a Christmas, and I actually saw him running along the side of the road, and my brother said, stop, pull over and grab him. So he managed to corral him, and all 2.5 kilos of him at the time. And we chucked him in the car, brought him back to Christchurch, and it looked like he'd fallen down a bank, because it was quite steep banks. It was a spur of the moment thing, I suppose. Initially we thought we'll bring him back, and my brother's got a place on the coast, so he could fatten him up or whatever. And I just thought, well, he seemed pretty cruising. He followed me everywhere I went, so I just thought I'll just see how he goes. And he became my little shadow pretty much for the next 6 months. And then from there was really no getting rid of him. It was about 2 days, to be honest. It took me to make that decision, but I probably could have had much nicer stuff. But nah, absolutely no regrets. They're really good pets, and he's always there. He's actually a bit of a deterrent too for the odd idiot that wanders up the driveway. So yeah, good talking point at parties too. So yeah, some would say I'm still single, but that's probably a product of other things. I wouldn't say that's anything to do with it. It's probably a product of my work and various things, I guess. But I mean, that's not really a negative impact so much. No, I just think that, to be honest, they've actually been a bit of a saviour for me, because it's a good outlet when work's really hard and you're getting a bit of shit from here, there, and everywhere, and you come home and have a beer and talk to these boys, and it pretty much makes your day. So you tend to internalise a lot, especially when you live by yourself. But you have a sounding board and 2 animals that sort of don't really speak back, and they just sort of look at you, and one just wants food and beer, and the other one just looks at you dotingly like you're the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah, I think I'll just hang around here, and I love the place.
You can just
like the boys too. They're good fun.
And after the break on the South Today, students are rubbishing proposed changes to their student code of conduct, and we have a look at your midweek weather. See you after the break.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. We have a massive manufacturer's clearance plus. There's liquidated stock from our suppliers. For example, we have cotton casual trousers from 1990, dress trousers from 1990, merino zip pullovers, fashion shirts, warm winter shirts, jackets. There's a great deal on overcoats, blazers and suits. Come and check out our jeans. We're known for our jean selection.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Come in and see the massive manufacturer's clearance at Alex Campbell Menswear.
Thanks for staying with us. After a backlash from students, the University of Otago's dropped controversial rubbish provisions from the proposed changes to the Students' Code of Conduct. The proposal would have allowed the proctor to issue a notice to student residences for them to clear rubbish. A daily fine would have been able to be imposed if rubbish was not cleared in a reasonable time frame. After considering submissions on the issue, the university has decided to not go ahead with the rubbish provisions. However, the university says it recognises rubbish continues to be an issue, particularly in North Dunedin. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. It's all changed for one of Dunedin's longest running businesses as the keys to a lemonade factory are handed over. Supergrands Dunedin opened its doors this morning for an all-ages event focused on reading with youngsters. And Central Otago's Young Viticulturalist of the Year has been crowned following a recent series of events.
Tonight's weather.
Time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times. We welcome the editor, Mr. Barry Stewart. G'day.
Hello, Daryl. I just caught a wee bit as I was coming in about that pig. Is that a pet pig?
It's a pet pig that was
Amazing.
abandoned.
Amazing.
A curly tail with a happy ending.
Well, there's an option. Yeah. Anyway, on to more important matters. A rundown of what's happening around the place. The company responsible for dumping construction material into the Clutha River only did so after a discussion with an Otago Regional Council member. Vaccination updates. The Southern District Health Board has passed the 100,000 COVID vaccination mark. That's some milestone. And also the bookings underway for Group 3. So that's positive news in that department. And Dunedin businesses have supported a proposal to have a rainbow crossing in Morrow Place. About 3,000 people have signed that petition, so some support there for that venture. A Dunedin restaurant that admits it sold alcohol without a licence has applied for permission to do so legitimately. However, the district licensing inspector has recommended that the Great Taste Limited be declined that application, so we'll see what happens there. And another environmental issue, the application to dismiss the City Care charges over its handling of sewage plants in Clutha has been rejected, so they will face the consequences of that. And a bomb squad was called to Toitu Settlers Museum in Dunedin today for, I'm not sure quite what it was, to be honest, but there was an earlier incident in Clutha a couple of weeks ago where something was disposed of by the bomb squad. So an exhibit's gone wrong. And in sport, we continue our countdown to the Olympics, which happen very soon. In fact, the soccer starts tomorrow, I believe. But look out for our special tabloid lift out on Friday, which will have everything you need to know about the Olympic Games. Your guide too, have details about when New Zealand athletes are performing and ones to look out for, and lots of other interesting bits and pieces. So get a copy of that on Friday, Darryl.
All that and more in tomorrow's paper.
Yeah.
Thank you, Barry. Time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, a perfect Otago winter's morning in Dunedin. Looking at the situation, a complex trough of low pressure is set to move onto the South Island tomorrow, bringing a period of unsettled weather for the region for the next few days. Lingering showers continue at the northwest of the island with 13 degrees for Westport and Greymouth. Showers and grey skies make it across to the northeast. Nelson heads for 13 degrees with 14 for Blenheim. And you'd expect a few scattered clouds down the eastern coast, Kaikoura, Christchurch and Ashburton, all looking at 14-degree highs. Heading down to the southern towns, there's a southwesterly change with rain on the way down here. The Catlins leads the way with a 12-degree high, while it's 11 degrees for Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, moderate west to southwest winds sweep across all centres, bringing rain. 12 degrees for Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra, while it's due to be 11 for Tiano. Moderate northerlies brush the northern towns, with cloud increasing. 13 degrees inland with rain later for Twizel and Omarama, but expect cloudy and dry conditions on the coast, 16 in Timaru and 15 in Oamaru. In Dunedin, northerly winds and high cloud tonight with an overnight low of 5 degrees. High cloud increasing and thickening tomorrow with moderate to fresh mild northerlies. Expect showers later. A high of 14 and a low of 7. The cloud breaks into sunny periods with sunny periods increasing on Thursday with breezy cool southwest winds decreasing. A high of 11 and a low of 5. And in Invercargill, cloud increasing tonight with an overnight low of 9. Expect periods of rain tomorrow with fresh northwesterlies at first, turning southerly later. A high of 13 and a low of 6. It'll be changeable on Thursday with periods of cloud and showers. Expect fresh cool westerly winds. A high of 11 and a low of 6. And that's all from the South Today team for this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.